I appreciate the families who are here. The least we owe you are our condolences. Actually, sometimes committee learns more from the newspapers than from any place else. And I'm looking at and perhaps this is best for the pilots, I'm looking at a New York Times piece that indicates, I'm sorry, it's a Wall Street Journal piece, that 25% of people who fly airplanes want to avoid the MAX. 38% say they weren't sure. The flying public doesn't know what to do, in other words. But the FAA has signaled that it's preparing for flight trials for the proposed 737 MAX enhancement as early as this week, and preparing to take an important step toward returning the 737 MAX service by late summer. Now, we know it will require the FAA endorsement and indeed foreign regulators as well, but I need to ask you, is this the pace that you would expect given what Boeing has gone through in the last several months? Is this the pace to get back into service?
Thank you, Congressman
summer?
Norton. I would expect that Boeing and the FAA have this as their top priority, as do the air carriers who have these airplanes on order. We have 24 MAXs in. We had 24 MAXs in service at American Airlines, and now I believe there's 6 more that are already off the assembly line, and that's just one airline. These aircraft are needed. They're needed for passenger service. We want them back in service.
You think that this pace is to be expected?
I think that the Boeing Corporation and the FAA is capable of getting this airplane back in the sky by the end of the summer.
I think the flying public would be very pleased, given your expertise, to hear that. But I'm now interested, I've become more interested again from what I read in the press and what happens in the factory. Now, the information I have is from the North Charleston plant. Now, the 737 MAX was designed and assembled there, but the information we have really bewilders me because it's on the 737 Dreamers. So the verdict seems to be in on that, and that the employees from the plants were whistleblowers, and as 5 years ago, the agency did not allow the employees from the plants to certify the aircraft to FAA. That's 5 years ago for the Dreamers. The Dreamers. And it bothers me because the MAX is also manufactured there. The employees, the whistleblowers, said that they believe the strong demand for this other plane, on which the information is in, the 787, had pushed Boeing to make to quickly turn out jets as it raced to meet deadlines. So I'm trying to find whether there's something endemic in the culture that we ought to watch out for, given what we already know now about the 787 Dreamers, and what do you think, therefore, of the pace in light of what we know about the Dreamers, which were also manufactured at this South Charleston factory?
Congresswoman, if I can respond. From the airline perspective, we have no interest in a rapid pace.
You certainly have some interest in it.
Well,
obviously, Boeing is losing money. It needs to get these planes up in the air.
We have a much stronger interest in the FAA and Boeing working with our pilots union in getting.
I'm asking about the South.
Right.
I'm asking about this plant, which also is a plant that produced the MAX. Does anyone have any misgivings about that? Yes,
Congressman, I have seen those same reports, and it gives me great concern that with both the 787 manufacturer and the manufacturer of the the Air Force tanker, the KC-46. There was some debris left in some bays of the interior of the aircraft that could possibly chafe wiring and cause future issues, and that Boeing has become aware of this and is aggressively trying to get to the root of the problems with the manufacturing process, so no foreign objects remain in manufactured aircraft.
Thank you very much. I recognize Mr. Lynch for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank